More than 100,000 students are back in school across Kentucky this afternoon, including the state's biggest district. We expected there'd be bumps in the road with the new start times and bus routes for JCPS this year, and we're hearing from a lot of you. We have live team coverage today with our Jim Stratman with all the first day jitters and excitement. But first, our Travis Breeze sharing parents' frustrations at the bus stop this morning. Travis, you experienced some pretty big hiccups in that system firsthand.
Brooke, we are near Fern Valley Road and Shepherdsville Road right now, and this corner right here is supposed to be a bus stop for at least 2 schools. I was here for about an hour this morning. I saw several buses drive by, but not a single one stopped right here. The intersection of Fern Valley Road and Clearwater Farms Boulevard is listed as a bus stop for Jessica Sibby's son. We were there at 7:04 a.m. when the JCPS bus finder said to be, but a bus never stopped here. We did, however, watch a bus carrying fellow students in uniforms drive by.
In the past with his bus stops, it's always had more communication as far as where the bus stop is going to be.
The family turned around and Sibby drove her son to school.
I really hope that we can get it figured out today.
Gianara Hernandez was also told this location was her stop for Marion C. Moore School.
I mean, there's a lot of cars. It's pretty unsafe.
This was her bus stop last year, and she says it often had issues.
They came pretty late most of the time, especially during the last few days.
She was supposed to be picked up at 6:45 a.m. and about an hour later, still no bus.
I don't know. I mean, my mom works and she can't take me right now. She just went to her job.
At Seneca High School, Pam Lott sacrificed being late to work to drop off her student, Hannah.
I have to be at work at 8. The earliest I can drop her off is at 8 a.m., but Seneca is about 30-minute drive for my work without traffic.
A few days ago, Bus Finder gave them a stop that was an 18-minute drive away. As of this morning, they have no stop. So it's not a long-term plan for you?
Not at all.
Families experiencing the first day blues and hoping things get better.
I know JCPS is trying and they're doing the best they can, and you know, hiccups are expected, but this year they seem to be, you know, thousands of bus stops still missing.
The latest number we have from the district is that 4,800 bus stop request forms were submitted between July 24th and July 31st. We are waiting for an open records request to get an updated number to that. Some parents have told me that they've been told by the district not to expect a response to those request forms until after Labor Day. Live in Louisville, Travis Breeze, WHAS 11 on your side.
Travis, thank you for that report. If you are having any issues with school bus stops, you can also call your child's school or that bus stop hotline. The number is on your screen. That's 502-485-RIDE. You can also look at your bus's entire route on the JCPS Bus Finder by inputting your school only, not your address. You can help see where other bus stops are along that route. This is a big year for JCPS. Not only did those bus routes change, we're dealing with staggered start times and new school choice zones, I should say, meaning more kids, especially in West Louisville, are going to school in their neighborhoods for the very first time in decades. Our Jim Stratman spent the morning sharing in all the first day jitters and excitement. Jim.
Yeah, good afternoon, Brooke. This was a lot more jam-packed area a couple of hours ago as school is getting ready to start outside of Hudson Middle. It's a lot calmer now, but that's because students have been inside the classrooms for the first 4 hours of this day, the first day of school, and there was a lot of anxiety felt by some parents as they were getting ready for this first day of school. A lot of jitters from the kids as well, but once they actually got here to the school building, and especially inside, that kind of faded away to a more normal atmosphere, and that is a very good thing.
Good morning. Oh, missed y'all.
The backpacks, the lunch boxes, the smiles and hugs. It's the magic of the first day of school.
Happy first day.
For JCPS, it is the first day of a school year filled with change. New start times, new bus routes, new schools even. Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio said that these changes were necessary, but acknowledged that there are going to be some growing pains along with this.
I just think in JCPS we've waited way too long. There has not been much change in this district 4 to 5 decades. And so it's a lot, but it's time to make change.
This year we have earlier start times, so that has been an adventure.
Jarita Harris is a parent of 2 JCPS students, each with their own start time. She says that's not ideal, but they're making it work.
We're just trying to be positive. I am a product of JCPS and a huge fan of JCPS, so we just got to roll with it.
On the flip side, over at Hudson Middle School, Nicole Thompson says the new school change initiative is helping her family out already.
Last year, I made like a 40-minute commute. So I live right in the neighborhood. It's about less than a 5-minute walk. So it's been easy so far as me for my kids.
Through all the changes, the in-classroom experience, well, that will be more normal. And for the students, that's what they're focusing on.
I'm going to first grade.
First grade?
Me too. My second grade teacher, Miss Spalding, she gave me some math work, so I'm kind of ready for math. I have a friend that I've been seeing for 3 years, I think, that I want to see her again this year.
Getting ready for a great new year. Reporting in Louisville, Jim Stratman, WHAS11 on your side.
And Brooke, I did ask some of those kids who came out this morning who seemed really genuinely excited to be back in the classroom what it was like waking up a little bit earlier today than they have in past years. They did tell me it was a little bit of a drag, but they were pretty excited to get into the school buildings and see their teachers, their friends, and get started with classes. Brooke?
I love it, Jim. My kids, too. We were the early starts, and they were like, it's too dark. All right, thanks, Jim. Speaking of back to school excitement, here's a picture of Noah and Josie, who headed back to school in Harrison County, Indiana. Love the pictures, love the smiles. We want to see your kids' first day photos. You can send that photo along with your student's first name to the number there on your screen. That's 502-582-7290. For all things back to school, you can head to WHAS11.com. Shifting gears to more local news now, Louisville Metro Police are looking for suspects after a shooting sent 2 men to the hospital. It happened around 7:30 last night on South 27th Street near Elliott Avenue. That's in the Russell neighborhood. Police say the 2 victims were alert on the way to the hospital and expected to survive. If you have any information, you're asked to call that anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD or use the online portal. Police say a woman shot and killed a man who'd held her husband at gunpoint. It happened at a southern Indiana home on Oregon Springs Road in Salem around 6:30 Monday night. Indiana State Police say Michael Chastain drove through the front yard, got out of the car, and grabbed the homeowner, pointing a gun at his head. Investigators said the man's wife saw this happening from inside the home, grabbed her gun, and shot Chastain. He later died at the hospital. ISP said the case will ultimately go to the Washington County Prosecutor's Office. City leaders are still working on plans for a controlled burn of a home filled with dangerous chemicals in Highview, but the owner now trying to stop that. The attorney for the home's jailed owner, Mark Hibble, filed a motion Tuesday to halt any potential destruction of the property because they said there may be evidence that supports their defense. In a new motion, he argued Hibble had the chemicals because he's a former chemist and said right now there is no implication he possessed anything illegal or got the chemicals unlawfully. The motion argues if the city burns that home, it'll unnecessarily destroy all of his belongings and evidence that could be used in Hibble's defense. The attorney's asking for a hearing before the city burns down that home. Now, in a community meeting Monday night, city leaders revealed a controlled burn is no longer the only option. Our Isaiah Kim Martinez takes a closer look at the alternative.
Since that initial news conference regarding the home on Applegate Lane, the mayor has said the only way to safely get rid of the chemicals inside is a controlled burn. That's after consulting with local, state, and federal agencies, including the FBI. Now, though, the city says they're keeping their options open until the EPA is on site and evaluates best next steps. Jody Myman with Metro EMS confirming this Monday night.
An alternative is, a contractor coming in and actually methodically taking things out one by one in the house if a contractor will do that.
This week, WHAS11 learned the city had its first direct conversation with the EPA to discuss alternatives, options that would likely take longer and potentially keep residents away from their homes for more time.
We'll be advising on any hazards that are detected and how that could potentially affect your health.
and then the steps that you need to take to avoid being exposed.
In a statement sent to me, the mayor's office said the EPA had just responded to Mayor Craig Greenberg's request for guidance this week. Greenberg's press secretary saying, quote, EPA officials have asked for access to the house in order to help us determine the next steps. We are working through the legalities to give them access to the home, and we expect to provide an update by the end of the week.
But just to torch this building without knowing those particulars is just really irresponsible.
Craig Williams, director of the Kentucky Environmental Foundation, says the decision to reevaluate is a smart one. He says even beyond the EPA, the city needs to seek out third-party experts not tied to government to weigh in.
So there's no way to identify what sort of toxic material is going to be emitted from this process. It's counterintuitive.
Meanwhile, businesses nearby the home, like Highview Ice Cream and Coffee, have concerns.
We're not too far away as a business. You know, are we going to be okay staying open? Or are we going to have to shut down for a couple of hours or a day or whatever?
But store owner Camille Anderson Linton telling me ultimately she just wants the safest resolution, no matter how long it takes. Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.
Monday night, Mayor Greenberg said a controlled burn is still the likely option. The city's asking neighbors to sign up for the LINS alerts to receive updates. Take a look at the number there on your screen. You can sign up by texting LINS alert to 67283 to get started.